Pregame.com.
The most experienced team in all of college football heading into 2018, I think, is offering up some great value. It's Brad Powers, Pregame.com studios, just off the Vegas Strip. I know you're going to say, hey, Brad, college football, why are you talking that? It's more than 4 months away. Well, some season win totals are starting to pop up, and there's some great value. And I got a team you want to buy as far as the upcoming season coming your way here in just a second.
We just got done with the college basketball season. A team we wanted to sell during the tournament was Sparty, Michigan State. How is their football team going to do? Love Michigan State's football team this upcoming season. Therefore, we're going to take Michigan State over their season win total of 8.5 wins. Why do I like Michigan State? I already mentioned it at the top of this video. Michigan State, the most experienced team in the country, at least heading into 2018 as we speak. How about 19 returning starters out of 22 on the offense and defensive side of the ball? A team that's loaded on both sides. And keep in mind, Michigan State last year won 10 games, despite the fact coming into the season they were one of the 5 least experienced teams. So this is a much better team than what Michigan State had a year ago. And again, that team won 10 games. Therefore, we're going over 8.5 wins as far as their season win total. All right, I want you to isolate a couple of these specific returning starters. Who's really important? Yeah, not name players as far as around the country, but here's guys you got to keep an eye on. Let's start at quarterback. Brian Lewerke, I think one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the entire country. Very efficient throwing the ball, and I think sneaky good running the ball. Had more than 500 rushing yards last year for the Spartans, giving them a different dynamic than a Kirk Cousins than what they've had in past Michigan State quarterbacks. Running back L.J. Scott's a 4-year starter at running back, 4 offensive line starters back, defense 9 starters back from a team that allowed less than 300 yards per game last year. Really no weaknesses as far as returning players. I don't like distractions when I'm betting on a team. Here's a school that's had a scandal issue. Isn't that a concern? Yeah, it did affect Michigan State's basketball team coming down the stretch. At least it looked like that. But I'll tell you, Michigan State's football team had some scandals at the beginning of last season where several players were suspended. It was an off-field incident with a woman. That seemed to kind of rally the team around him. And if I'm going to say, if there's a guy that can get his players to buy in and us against the world mentality, it's definitely Michigan State's head coach, Mark D'Antonio, because he does it time and time again throughout his entire career. Big Ten East, extremely competitive, some really good teams. Talk to me about that. Not just competitive, the best division in all of college football. Forget the SEC West where it's Alabama and everybody else. I got 4 legitimate top 12 teams, starting with Ohio State, followed by Penn State, and then the 2 Michigan schools, Michigan, Michigan State, right around 11 and 12 in my power ratings, pretty interchangeable. But Michigan State, make no bones about it, is a legitimate top 12 team in my power ratings. Talk to me about the overall schedule for Michigan State. Yeah, second key factor for me, Michigan State, why am I buying them? Favorable schedule for the Spartans. I am currently favored in 10 of their 12 games. More importantly, 9 of them by a touchdown or more. So very winnable 9 games. Let's talk about the 3 games in question. Ohio State at home. Michigan State will be a short underdog in that one. At Penn State, that'll be their only sizable underdog role, where there'll be about a touchdown underdog role. And then they get Michigan at home, where I actually think Michigan State will be about a field goal favorite. What I love about Michigan State here is that on those 9 games that they should win, they could slip up and lose one of them. And that's the problem when you're a bully and then you lose the 3 games against the premier teams you play. But they haven't been a bully. This is the sort of team that when a big boy comes and punches him in the nose, they can punch back, right? Absolutely. So everyone's going to go back to last year's Ohio State game where Michigan State got trucked in that game. Bad spot. Ohio State was coming off the blowout loss against Iowa, wanting to flex their muscle. But prior to that, Michigan State more than competed against the Buckeyes. Previous 6 meetings, Michigan State won 3 games, lost 3 games. 2 of those 3 games they lost were by a single point. So they can compete with Ohio State. They've done more than compete against Michigan. They've dominated Michigan the last 10 years. They won 8 of the games straight up. And against Penn State last year, that great Penn State team with Saquon Barkley, well, who beat them? Michigan State was one of the 2 teams to beat them. I'm having a flashback to a punt block with a couple seconds left in that game. I love, by the way, that you're getting in front of the likely line moves, getting the value before it's sucked out of the marketplace. Let's make it official. Yeah, this one probably goes to 9 wins for Michigan State. So let's go ahead and take over 8.5 wins at the current market price. Why am I buying Michigan State? This is the most experienced team in the entire country heading into 2018. 19 returning starters, loaded on both offense and defense, and the Spartans have a very favorable schedule currently. I have them favored in 10 games, 9 of them by more than a touchdown, and they get both Ohio State and Michigan at home. That's why we're going over 8.5 wins for Michigan State. More videos, pregame.com.